Oh, it's full screen, Andy. So you know it's going to be another one of those after school specials on a very episode of Purple for the Win. Now, yes, this is nominally a football channel, and I don't know. We'll tie something in. But New Year's is coming up, and when New Year's comes, New Year's resolutions. Now, at the start, I need to say I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I think it's just an arbitrary date where you can start working on your goals at any point, right? And you see this a lot. Like New Year's resolutions is like a macro version of like, oh, this month I'm going to do this, or this week, new week, new me. Diet starts on Monday, that whole thing. And also, so you can start your goals at any point. And just because things don't work, and I'm perfectly fine with New Year's resolutions. If that's what it takes to motivate you, whatever works, you do you. But if it doesn't work out, and by February you're not going to the gym, you're not saving money, you're not doing this, that, the other thing, don't be discouraged and then wait until 2024. Nah, I'm just reset, reboot right then. But and also, I'm coming from a place where I'm by no means a perfect person. Like, you know, we all gain and lose a little bit of weight. Maybe I drink a little bit too much. Maybe we waste some stupid money a time or two. I mean, it happens. It happens. I certainly haven't had perfect relationships throughout my life either. But I want to talk about the three main things that people make their New Year's resolutions about: weight loss and fitness, money and success, as well as relationships. So that's like the triad, the triumvirate. Like that is the Jefferson, Darrisaw, and TJ Hawkinson of the future of the Vikings offense of New Year's resolutions. So with weight loss, everyone wants to come in, lose, 20, 50, 30 pounds, get in shape, best shape of my life, that whole thing. But the thing is, like, you'll see the gyms packed in January, right? And then they'll empty out by February. People try and hit it hard right away, but I feel like the problem that people have with a lot of these New Year's resolutions when it comes to weight loss and fitness is that they're too vague and they're too grandiose, right? So being too vague is like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. Oh, I want to feel better. I want to do this or that. You have to do something that you can control. Like you have to have something tangible that you can mark off and be like, hey, I accomplished this, this, and this. So it has to be better than just, hey, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. It's, I'm going to go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week for an hour at a time. So 2-3 hours at the gym per week. That's something you can control. Or I'm going to eat clean 80% of the time and also no eating after dinner. Yeah, that is something that you can control. That's something that is tangible that you can mark off. Or I'm going to drink X amount of water. I'm going to limit myself to X amount of alcoholic beverages a week. That's something you can check off. That's something that is legitimate versus, I don't know, want to lose some weight and want to feel better. Where vague goals will get vague results. And also, we said grandiose, right? So you want to have big goals. Like you want to have goals that if and when you achieve them, you feel accomplished. Like you feel good about yourself. You don't want to set your goal so low. It's like, hey, I want to have a thimble of water today. Check. Nah, ain't gonna be that. But it has to be something that is attainable. Where it's like I could have a goal. It's like, hey, this year I'm gonna play in the NBA. It ain't gonna happen, bro. I'm like 5'7" and Asian, and also I have a bad jump shot. I used to be a contender back in the day. But anyways, getting back to this, where something is always better than nothing. And, people come in a little bit too hot, guns a-blazing, where it's like, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week or 7 times a week. And even if you've never been to the gym at all, and you're always, and you're 100 pounds overweight and you're always eating crap food, and like, it's not going to work out that way. It's something that has to be gradual, and something is better than nothing. Even if you're just starting out like, hey, I got an Apple Watch or a steps tracker for Christmas. I'm gonna walk 6,000 steps a day. I'm going to stop eating after 7 p.m. and I'm gonna drink more water than pop. I'm gonna quit pop or soda. That's tangible, and that's a hell of a good step. And also, that's something that is attainable. That's something where. Well, the thing about goals too is like if you make them too grandiose and you come up short, you feel really bad and just like, oh, I always fail at everything, and then you get into that whole self-defeating cycle, which is no bueno for anyone. So give yourself a goal that is attainable, something you can do, something you feel accomplished once you get done. Check that off. And then money and success. The same thing applies. Don't be vague. Don't be grandiose. Or it's like, I want to make $500,000 this year. Okay. Well, say you work at a job, a entry-level corporate job, and you're bringing home 60, 70 a year. Right? How are you going to make that jump to 500K? And when you come up short, I mean, Are you going to feel bad about it? Probably. Also, it's the same thing with the weight loss and fitness. Something has to be tangible. Where it's like, hey, I'm going to complete X number of projects during this time. I'm going to work X number of hours extra during the week, during the month, during whatever. If you're a salesperson, I'm going to make X number of more cold calls. I'm going to make X more number of networking things. I'm going to make X number of blah, 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 right? So something that you can actually tangibly check off. Or you want to go the other way. Instead of trying to earn a dollar, trying to save a dime, I'm going to save X number of dollars per week. I'm going to save X number of dollars per month, per year, put that towards, credit card debt, medical debt. If you got some debt, try and clean that up. That should be a goal too. Just try and stay out of debt to the best of your ability and go from there. Or say you're not happy with your job. Right. And, this year you want to find a different job. You want to find a career. Maybe it's something that you're passionate about that you haven't thought about making your career or monetizing. Maybe it is going back to school. That's something that's tangible and something that is attainable, or getting a certificate in a field that you want to work in, or networking with people in the field. Try and get a feel for, what it's like, people working in that job and industry that you want to get into. Maybe you'll find out that it's not for you. Maybe you'll find out that, say you love cooking, right? And you've always considered like, man, I want to go and be a chef. But maybe you find out that the hours and the pay, let's be honest, I used to work in the restaurant industry, it ain't for you. You'll find that out. That's perfectly fine. But also, it's never been easier in the history of mankind to monetize your side hustle, monetize your passions, whether it's Etsy, social media, YouTube, whatever. Like, if you are passionate about something, you can find an audience. You can build up a community. You can do it. I mean, hell, we've done it talking about the Vikings and our stupid football team. To a degree, right? So that's something that you can and should get after. And then you got relationships. So everyone, new year, new me, talk about finding the one this year in 2023. Well, you got to work on yourself first. That's the whole thing, where if you're not happy where you are, weight-wise, fitness-wise, success-wise, monetarily, it's going to show. Like, it's going to show in lack of self-confidence, and that is a big thing in finding a significant other. It is confidence. It is being able to contribute. It is able to take care of the other person if that's what they're looking for. And if you don't respect yourself, why should anyone respect you? If you don't love yourself, why should anyone love you? Right? So it is something that maybe you're not ready for a relationship, and maybe you do find the one, but if you don't love yourself, like if you're not in a good spot, that could be a blown opportunity. Where if you would have met this person just a couple months later, where you've got yourself into a better spot, it just didn't work out, right? But also, going into relationships, you have to be upfront about what you want. Like, is this just fun, or is this looking for marriage, or some other significant relationship? Or you shouldn't bend your values just to be with someone. Like, you shouldn't compromise what you're looking for. You shouldn't compromise. It's like, well, this person doesn't treat me well, but it's better than being alone, sort of situation. No, you can't do that. No. Like, would you rather be with someone that makes you miserable, or would you rather be alone and still working on it? And also, you need to, this is especially for guys, you cannot confuse lust and infatuation with love. I mean, they look similar, but they are two completely different things, right? And you have to be honest with the other person. You have to be honest with yourself, what you're actually looking for. And yeah, I know that it is tough out there. Like, if the person that you think is the one, but it's not working out for whatever reason, you can't be obsessed about it. Like, you can't be worried about it. Like, what is meant to be yours will be yours eventually. Patience. If it's meant to be, it'll be. And I know that a lot of people don't believe in like religion or spirituality, but or the secret, the law of attraction. But I actually do believe if something is meant to work out, it'll work out. Like, it may not be on your schedule. It may not be exactly how you want it, but somehow, some way, it'll work out. Or if you're already in a relationship, but it needs a little bit of work. And also, most relationships need a little bit of work, by the way. I know that some people seem absolutely perfect, like picturesque, picket fence, all that stuff, but everyone needs a little bit of work. And communication is the key. It really is. We're having an open dialogue about how you perceive the relationship, what you feel is lacking. And sometimes, I mean, the other person may just completely be oblivious about how their actions make you feel or how their actions are perceived. And maybe by talking about it, maybe it's something that ends up being a deal breaker. Maybe it's something that you'll find out that it's time to go your separate ways. And it goes back to would you rather be with someone who makes you miserable, or someone that you're just fine with, or would you rather be alone, or would you have an opportunity to find someone else that makes you feel like you're 10,000 feet tall, or maybe it does clear things up, and then your existing relationship becomes an amazing relationship. And I think people are so afraid to talk and have that conversation because it's awkward. They're worried about hurting feelings. They're worried about this, that, or the other thing. So it just ends up being a Cold War. Like and it ends up being like everyone's in their trenches. No one's going to cross into no man's land, and you're just like that until the clock runs out. Now, it's ridiculous, man. And the important thing about communication, tying it back to the Vikings. So special teams coordinator Matt Daniels this week said something to the effect of, when there's silence, negative thoughts fill that void, or something like that. So when there's a lack of communication, people's minds run wild, and it's anxiety, it's insecurity, it's everything that just fills that void. It's like, oh, we're not talking about this. That must mean that they hate me. That must mean that they're this, that, or the other thing. That must mean absolute worst case scenario. So that's what happens. When no one talks, everyone just imagines it's going to be the worst thing ever. All right, so that communication is key. And for everything involved, this is kind of rambly, but I don't care. For everything involved here, whether it's weight loss, whether it's money, success, whether it's relationships, do not compare yourself to others. Run your own damn race. Try and get 1% better every single day. All those cliches. And we'll say, stop comparing yourself to other people's highlight reels, especially social media. So you're watching this. I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. These celebrities got shredded in 2 weeks for a movie role. Well, a couple things. They got that free time. Like, if they got kids, they got nannies, they're able to get that 9-10 hours sleep. They're able to get that natural HGH. They're able to get that maybe not so natural HGH. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, how many celebrities who got jacked for a movie role are on Gear or Tren? Let's be honest here, right? Also, they got the money for private chefs to get their food perfect. They have money for trainers. They have everything, right? So stop comparing you trying to lose 10 pounds and fit into those size 38 jeans again versus a celebrity getting jacked for a movie role. It's like, how do you put on 30 pounds of muscle in a month? Yeah, we know. Or it's like, oh, look at all these friends on Instagram. Yeah, they got a baller watch, they got an amazing car, they're going on all these trips, they're buying things where it always goes back to, stop wasting money on things you don't need to impress people you don't like, right? So people flexing on social media, it's exactly what that is. And you don't know their situation. Hell, maybe they work their ass off for that Maserati and they deserve it. Or maybe they're super in debt. Maybe they're compromising their relationships. Maybe they're just trying to just impress a bunch of strangers on the internet for clout. You don't know, right? And then lastly, that perfect couple. Right. So you see it all over the place. The perfect couple on the social media, it's just like, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. You don't know what's going on inside someone's house. Like, you don't know if their relationship is piss poor. I mean, the wife might be an influencer, although I really dislike that term. And then the husband's like, I need to get out of this. I need to just be like, deuces. I need to bounce. I need to go hide up in the mountains and become a goat farmer in Afghanistan. I would be so much happier. One of those things. And also, the people who present themselves as perfect and picturesque, sometimes they doth protest too much. So do not compare yourself to other people. So you do have to run your own race. And like I said, I'm not really a fan of New Year's resolutions because I think that it's just a date where you start, where you can start at any point. Like, it can be arbitrary. It's like, hey, I'm going to start today. Oh, it's on a Thursday. I'm going to start this hour. I'm going to start this minute and have better habits. And it's not about what happens to you. It's about what you do now. And bringing it back to the Vikings. So when the Vikings were down 33-0 at halftime to the Colts, did they piss, moan, complain? They're like, no, we just need 5 touchdowns. We'll get a couple stops. And that's exactly what you need to do in your life, where it doesn't matter how you got to this spot, whether you stayed in toxic and abusive relationships, or you ate crappy food, you haven't been to the gym in 3 years, or you waste all your money, you're in super credit card debt, you have stupid loans, you lease cars and all that stuff. It doesn't matter how you got to this spot, but what can you do right now? And you don't have to wait for a new year, a new month, a new week, a new month, new me. Right this minute, right this second, what can you do right now? What actions can you put into place to get yourself into a better spot? All right. And I mean, this year, if you finish 2023, where you started not going to the gym at all at any point in your life, but now you love it. And also, there's camaraderie at the gym, man. Like, you see people say, hey, that person's awesome. They're putting in the work. Love to see it. And it motivates you. It is so weird. But now you're going to the gym 2, 3, 4 times a week. You're eating clean 80% of the time, because no one can eat clean 100% of the time unless you want to just completely have a boring life. Let's be honest here. You lost 10 pounds, you gained some muscle. Fantastic. You got yourself into a better job, or you started monetizing your side hustle. You're putting some of the extra money. You're paying off your debt, or you're stacking up that cheese. You're saving up for that dream vacation that you've always wanted to take your family on. Awesome. And you increase your net worth, and you just got after it this year. Or you worked on your relationship and it was on the rocks in 2022, and then all of a sudden it is the best thing in your life. And before it was a liability, now is an asset in your life because of communication, because you worked on it. Or if you were single, if you were alone, if you were lonely, but you worked on yourself and you didn't compromise what you were looking for. You didn't get with someone just to be with someone. And now all of a sudden you found the love of your life. You found your best friend. You found the person that you want to spend the rest of your days with. That's amazing. That's amazing. And it doesn't just have to be on January 1st. Just start right now. And what day is it? December 30th? Start now. Why not? So I know that was a little bit rambly, but is what it is. And I really like doing content like this, because I feel like the reaction that we got from our first video, the You Are Not Alone video, it's really humbling, and just a lot of people need to hear that at that point. And as always, if you have any questions, any comments, you just want to talk, Andy at purpleftw.com. And if you're getting after it, like if you got some goals, you can do this. And guess what? If you F up, don't get discouraged. We're all going to F up. Just get back on that horse. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That doesn't make sense, but I think that was from a Dwayne Wade commercial from back in the day. But you got this. And if you don't got this, you will at some point. Skull, production value.